So getting set up here, we're on mod. I have to finish quiz 10, mod 10. So let's go over that. Uh-oh, they're not good. Okay. Make sure I'm live streaming here. I am live streaming. Okay. So what's going on here? All right. What they're trying to do. Here. We're on. There we go. Why that was quiet. So what are they trying to do here? I need a Desmos. Which of these Desmoses is good? Is this one good? No. This one. That's better. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is an integral from 3/2 pi or 3 pi over 2.
Do you mind sharing your screen?
I don't mind. I thought I was. Thank you, Anusha. Okay, can you see it now? Yes?
Yeah, I can see it, thanks.
So what you have is an integral from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi of -3 sine of x f of cosine x dx. And it can't work because there's no function. We're on a blank Desmos. It says it's f. This f is a problem. If it weren't there, it could totally do it. See, gives you an answer. But that's the whole problem. There's some unknown function. So just for the purposes of fun, I'm going to create some function. It doesn't matter. You can't do this. You can't just do this, but I'll just create some simple function, x squared plus 3. Now that function has a value. It's 10. Okay. So what they're asking you is not that. They're saying, I want you to use substitution and make this something with a u here. So instead of cosine, there's going to be a u. Okay, well, if that's the case, then they're telling you right off what u equals. U equals cosine x. So u equals cosine x in substitution. So if u equals cosine x, somebody tell me what du equals. I see Jake or Nana. Nana will answer my question. If u equals cosine x, what does du equal? What's derivative of cosine?
Negative sine x.
And don't forget, you're going to need something else. It's a differential. It's du. So what do you have to put at the end? D what? Dx.
Yeah.
Okay. I need that because when I replace the u in there, I'm going to have to replace the dx with a du. Okay. So let me just rearrange some of this stuff. So I've 3, I'm going to take that and put it out front because you can do that with integrals. You can take numbers outside. So I took the 3 out. This minus sine of x, I'm going to cut that out and put it here. So now I have minus sine of x dx. Isn't minus sine is dx, isn't that just equal to du? So I can replace all of that with the du. Okay? So now I've replaced the cosine with the u. I've replaced the sine of x dx and the minus. They all went into the du. And that 3 just went out front. Okay? One more problem. It doesn't say on the limits of integration, but when it says 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi, those are x values. Okay, when it does the integral or whatever, it's going to be from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. Okay. But here it still says x is, and by the way, if you just leave it the way it is, you see the answer is not the same. So you know you can't leave that 3 has. Look at that, that 10 and 157, those are different answers. Oh, okay. So what should we do? Well, if u equals cosine x, okay, we have an upper limit and a lower limit. Then the lower limit, we had x equals 3 pi over 2. So we're just going to plug in 3 pi over 2 here. 3 pi over 2. Okay, that's 0. So the bottom limit is going to be 0. The top limit is 2 pi. So we'll put 2 pi in here. When you plug 2 pi into that, you get 1. So the upper limit here is going to be 1. Now, when I type in 1, what is that 304 going to change to? What's it going to change to? 10. And it did. So we're good. Now we know, even though this problem didn't give us a function, I could change this function to whatever I want. And the numbers change, but you see how they match? See how they're both 5.5s? Any function I want, and I'm still going to have, it's still going to be the same answer. And that's how we know. So you've changed everything from one variable to another variable, but you have to change the limits of integration. And all they ask for you here to do is tell you what A, B, and C are. A is the number in front. What's the number in front here? Let me just blow this up for a second. Okay. A is the number in front. What's the number in front? 3. B is the number on the bottom of the lower limit of the integral. The bottom number, what is that? 0. And C is the upper limit of the integration, which is 1. Okay? I think this is a good problem for you to understand. These are definite integrals, but they use substitution. Okay, so this is, but you don't understand that a definite integral in Desmos is going to give you an answer. So you don't have to do all this U substitution stuff because you're automatically, if you knew what the function was, you'd have the answer automatically. Okay. You don't know what the function is, there's a way to figure out what those limits of integration are. Okay, with the new substitution thing. You might see this in Calc 2 or Calc 3. But one thing's for sure, you should always let Desmos tell you what a value is, if it can, and it can always deal with limits of integration. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, so hey, my talk went really well, by the way. Thank you all for your opinions and stuff. They were very impressed. But one comment that I got was, you should have had students. You should have showed us some students. Anyway, they would have loved to have seen you. And anyway. All right, so this is the second one. So this one here is, so now they're talking about graduates. I think, is this the one that's wrong? 12 times a year for 12 years is 12 times 12, so that's fine. All right, so let me just copy down the question. Since this is a presentation question, I'll copy it down. Copy. Click on calculus graduates. I will paste it at the bottom here. Use the regression, got the regression, there it is. Picture of it is beautiful, bless you. They want to go from how many graduates there are in 12 years after 2011. So 2011 would mean, according to this is after the year 2000 and there's a 0 there. So 2011 would be what number? If two, it would be 11. So I'll start at 11. And I'm going to end at 12 years later, which would be what? 23. Just actually, I don't even have to do it. I just do it that way. Here we go, 23. So I want that area. I'm not getting a pretty picture, but if I were getting a pretty picture, it would be 0 less than y less than, what's the function here? Q of x, Q of x. Okay, but only between 11 plus than x is less than 12. That's what they want. That's not a very big, that's not a whole lot. Oh, 12 years after. Oh, sorry, 11 and 23. Sorry, my bad. Okay, that's what they want to add up. These are all the graduates between 2011 and 2023. And we find the area there. The question you have to ask yourself is, they're asking you, use the regression approximate area to estimate how many graduates there are in those 12 years. The thing are, do you graduate more than once? You graduated in 2019 from the same school. If you graduate Mercer in 2024, do you also graduate in 2025 or 2026? No. So since this is adding up graduates, I would say we just want the area. We don't have to worry about anything else. If it were population of the school, we'd have a problem because that would not tell us the number of people in the school. It would just tell us number of graduates. All right. So now that's not what they want. I see the picture of it. If I want to know what that area is, I can just do the integral from 11 to 23 of Q of x dx. Okay, so the answer is about 7,000. Oh, and there it is. It's right there. That's using fundamental theorem of calculus. So that tells us the answer also. Exactly. But that's not what they ask you for. What do they ask you for? They want us to approximate the area. So they want us to use this summation. Okay. The summation's already set up. It's great. It's good you don't have to figure out what that summation is. And it's close, but is that correct? No. Because they say use it 12 times a year. And that means n equals, it even says it right here, n equals 12 times 12. For each year, you're doing 12 months. So you want to do rectangles. So you're slicing this green thing up. If you sliced it up 12 times, that would be once a year. But we're slicing it up each month, so it's 144 times. Everyone get that? 144 times? Yeah, I just have to do 12 times 12 here. Now the answer is better. It's still not exactly the same. So understand, if you give me that exact answer, 7,391, I'm going to mark it wrong because you didn't give me the exact answer. I mean, you didn't give me the exact approximate answer. Give me the exact answer. If you give me this one, 7398, that would be the answer. 7398. Correct answer. Okay. Any questions on that? So be glad I don't ask you the population of Mercer or something, because if you do that, it becomes much harder. Because you don't know how many times a person, like, so for example, let's say we were counting up the number of students who are graduating. You might be involved in enrollment 3 or 4 times a year, and everyone's different. So it would be very difficult to get that, to figure out what that number is. All right. All right, what about line 26? What's happening here? Looks like in line 26, they have all this work that they're doing. They did a substitution, right? They replaced all those x's with u's. And then they simplified it using some algebra. Then they took the 7/3 out, and then they solved the integral with the plus c. And then what did they do to get from that last step where the integration's already done? Integration done. What did they do here? By the way, they did a little algebra, but that wasn't really what happened. They had u to the 1/2, and now they have cosine to the 1/2. So what did they do? They changed the u back to what? Cosine was the original substitution. So this step from 26 to 27 is just that last step of integration by substitution, which is called what? It's called back substitution. Okay. The substitution on a definite integral, that's definitely not that. Because that's not a definite integral. It wasn't finding the differential. It wasn't the whole thing. Integration by substitution, line 26 was virtually the entire thing, except for the last part, which is back substitution. Okay. All right. Okay, let's find somebody at home to say this. All right, I'm gonna call on somebody at home. Be prepared. I want you to say what you see on the screen. And the person I'm going to pick first, who's not going to respond to me and get me very angry, is Suhave. Suhave, you're not going to make me angry, are you?
Yeah, I can say it.
Okay, go for it.
I'm not sure it's gonna be right, but u equals a to the respect of x.
Just to the x, that's fine.
Okay, to the x. And du equals a to the x ln of a of dx.
Not of, just dx.
Oh, okay.
And we had ln, you could have said natural log, but I would take ln. So, okay, you did not disappoint me. That was pretty good. Okay. When you're asked to say these stuff on the test, be more confident. Pretend you know the answer. And then if you have to change it, but don't sell yourself short. You might be doing just fine. All right. Didn't we do this one already? We did one just like this. Let me just ask this question of you. How B and C, are they going to be 0 and pi over 6, or are they going to be something else? The limits of integration, B and C. 0 and pi over 6. The substitution, I'm going to replace this. You see, u is going to be the sine of x. You see that? U is definitely going to be the sine of x. Okay. So this is f of u, and this is f of sine of x. So I know sine of x is going to be u. Okay, this dx and the cosine is probably going to be the du. Okay, so there's all of that. The 3 is probably just going to come out front and be the a. So that'll just be 3. But what are the limits going to be? I had a 0. Is it going to stay 0, or is it going to turn into something else? How do I just tell me how I figure out what it is? If this was x equals 0 here, x equals, this is u of whatever that was. What's u of 0 going to be? Well, u is sine, right? What's sine of 0 equal to? Does anyone know? No. So that one stays the same. So maybe you'll get that right. What about the top one? Does that stay pi over 6? No. You have to do u of pi over 6. I'm sorry, this is terrible handwriting. I like decimals. U pi over 6 is the same as the sine of pi over 6. Does anyone know what the sine of pi over 6 is? If I put it in Desmos, I think it's 1/2. So C is equal to 1/2. Okay. Any questions on that? If you didn't know what it was, I would be okay if you wrote sine of pi over 6. You can put it in Desmos and give me the answer. I would appreciate that. And then I won't have to read the whole problem because it's marked right. But yeah, 1/2 is the answer. 4.5. Okay. If it had been pi over 3, the answer would have been square root of 3 over 2, and that would have been hard for me to grade. So that's why I go stay. All right. Okay, but that was a problem that everyone got. One person got it, everybody got it. All right. I'm disappointed that there are only 9 of these, there are only 9 questions. Did you guys actually do this test, this quiz? Sarah's saying she did. No. How about you, Melanie? Did you take it? Okay. Well, I can't go over those questions if you don't take it. And the problem is, I don't think a lot of people took it. So I'm just saying, that's all I got to go over. But that should be good enough, maybe. Any other questions? I don't like to be so big controlling. Okay. Honestly, it looks like 2 people took this test. It says 2. The average score was 10.5. Okay. I just went over what the 2 people missed. Any other questions on this? So that's the end of the quizzes. No more quizzes, no more material. It all ended there. Okay, what else did I promise you I'd go over today? Discussion form. We have discussions to go over. Project? Oh, did you see I posted this? Was that helpful? So the only thing I forgot that was in the instructions, I forgot to tell you because it's been a long time since I've done a project, is I like a peer review. Do you know what a peer review is? Okay, so so all you have to do in a peer review is look at somebody's worksheet when they post it and just say, is what they're doing interesting, relevant, and informative? In other words, I want you to look for things like, oh, I don't know. Last night I had my pre-calc test was doing height and weight. And they said that a 12-inch tall person was going to weigh 175 pounds. And I said, that is neither, it's interesting, but it's neither relevant or informative because there's no way. No way a baby, 12 inches is a baby. Okay, it's going to weigh 170 some pounds. They were using a sine regression. And I said, fine, the first time it reaches 175 pounds. And the first time sine regression reached 175 pounds was at 12 inches. I said, don't do that. Pick 50 something inches or 60 something inches. But don't pick 12 inches. So that's all I'm hoping you'll do is look at the person's thing and just make sure that it's interesting. And if it isn't, tell them that. I think I have any. I only have that one example. You're talking about this. I have one example that I posted. Do you want to see what other people did?
I was trying to think like a proposal idea.
Oh, you want other ideas for ideas? Okay, hold on. I know when I retire, I have to take my website down. So sad. Oh yeah, I told them I was. Like January.
Like, oh, this is your last semester?
Might be.
So you should pass all of us.
Might anyway. Because you guys, mostly people who survived this class pass it. I didn't fail hardly anybody last summer. So last time I taught it was the summer. I only people that I failed were either blatantly cheating or doing abysmally poor. Or not, didn't take the final, like that sort of stuff. I don't like to have, if you get anything that's close to passing, you'll probably pass.
You're still gonna curve our last two tests, right?
It's, you guys, I owe 20 points. I owe you points because I didn't add any point yet. But online students, I had to add points because I couldn't talk to them. Like I don't talk to them, and even if I posted, they don't necessarily read it. So I just literally put those points right on the test. But you guys will have the points added at the end. So you just have to know you're doing better than it says. All right, so you want ideas. Goodbye website.
The proposal link in the briefing.
Proposal link?
Yeah,
What's it say? You can't,
it's like,
is that why nobody's posting proposals? I have to look.
I did a test. And
Oh, I know why the link isn't working. You're talking the link on the message I sent out.
well, that one too, but also the one on like the actual one on it.
Right, hold on. Hold on. Let me flip. I gotta do that one. You're making me think about it. Okay, so in your class, under lessons, under mod, what was that? 8 or 7?
Wait, is the test,
This
wait,
isn't working?
But kind of, mine is coming up as like failed.
Mine says it works. But it doesn't say anybody posted anything. Oh, yeah, Davon posted something. Davon, what's your question? Who's talking to me?
yeah, when is the project due?
Project is due, the proposal, it was due already. But you can keep, I'm keeping it open because you might change your mind. But the project is, the final submission of the project is due on the 12th.
Okay,
But you should post your worksheet, you should finish your worksheet before then and post it, because you need to have 2 people look at it. To make sure that
Wait.
it's okay, a peer review.
we're
Which
doing
means
this as a group project, right?
this is not a group project. The group
Oh.
projects are done. Or will be done today.
Oh, what?
Are they done? Or did we finish them, didn't we? Yeah, there's no more group work. It's done.
Okay,
You want to do group work today? I'll do group work. No, you guys only have 10 mods and there's only 10 topics. I think the last one is conclusion. It's a personal one where you get to comment on how awful a teacher I was. And that's fine, because I won't look at it until after the course is over anyway. I know I have to remember all those things I don't have to do, like I have to summarize all those stuff. All the times you comment about me, I have to summarize them and produce them for administration, but that's due January 15th. But if I retire on the 1st, it ain't happening.
That's a great way to enter the year.
I know. It's just, yeah. I'm still stressed about it because it's a big decision. But yeah. So you got me distracted and now I'm gone.
Yes.
Ideas, thank you. All right, so you wanted ideas. So the way to get ideas from this is to look for old previous course material link. Where's that link? It's hiding somewhere. There it is. You see how I hid it in blue over green because I don't want you going there. Project ideas. Regular project part 2. No, that's not it. Oh, this is an old, that's why I don't want you there, because I don't want you looking at these old forms. No. Do not submit an old form. Regression project 2017, best ideas of the past. That's what you want. And just a list. Abortions in the US. Divorce rate. Don't I don't know, some people do, they track time of something, and that's confusing to me. Like, I run a mile, how long did it take? That's not really the way, normally it's the other way around. Like, you run for certain, you run, but you can do it, it could be, that could be time. Percent of the, okay, used worldwide, price of gold. HIV infections. That's probably HIV infections. I think I lost my formatting. Relative accident risk. Time you spend sleeping a day. Millions of tons of volatile organic dumped in the water. Alcohol-related deaths. Deaths from drug overdoses. Salary. Deaths by drugs. Those are prescription drugs. High school proficiency tests for New Jersey. Someone was a student I had was a teacher. Number of pregnancies, wins, price, federal minimum wage. Oh, you know what's interesting about federal minimum wage? If you ever want to do that, account for inflation, because it hasn't changed in like so many years. But you go in and you put into the inflation thing, it'll change a lot. Like the years that it's worth, where the money's worth more, it'll be worth more. I did this, somebody did this, President of the United States salaries. And you know, the president's salary hasn't changed in forever. So I don't know, it's $400,000.
I thought it was like less.
No, it's not much. It's really, it really is sad, because when Roosevelt was president during the Depression, was worth $1 million.
To be president.
The salary was like $1 million today to be president. Then Clinton was president and the economy was really good and inflation was a little high. His salary was the least. It was like $350,000 or something, because his $400,000 salary wasn't worth as much as it, as it would be now. So I thought that was very interesting. If you think about it, I'm going to make a commentary on this, but it's possible that presidents don't get paid enough money. Politicians, they're all multimillionaires too. They all have so much money. It's
So much stress.
yeah, but they make lots of money and then they become politicians and they take this salary that's like $20,000. It's like, why are you taking a $20,000 salary? You're taking it for some other reason, and I wish I knew what it was.
Power.
Yeah, it's probably not. Don't get me started. Okay, federal minimum wage is interesting if you account for inflation. Students in school, suicide rate, population. Populations are not interesting unless you have a reason to be interested in them. Well, I want to say something that came up about that conference that I thought was interesting. They talked about AI. Okay, and do you know AI can give you just about anything you want? It's really pretty powerful. And some guy was taking his lectures. They showed this TikTok of a guy who would take all the lectures, like you guys can take my lectures off of YouTube, and you could take the transcript and you can give it to AI, and AI will boil it down. No, I don't, what is this?
It's like, okay, so
I don't mind.
wait, you finished, no.
Oh, okay. So let me just tell you what happens. You're white, when you wash out my lecture, yes, you might get more information. You could probably boil my lecture down to 15 minutes, probably. But what you're losing is my passion for the subject. And this is my biggest problem lately. This is your problem too. All of this list of ideas on topic, this has to do with what's interesting to you. And when you have too many choices, it's really hard. You need the best thing you can have right now, the thing you want most from going to school. I hate to say it, it's my new philosophy, but since I'm retiring, I can say it. You need help figuring out what you want to do. Like this topic wasn't that hard for kids 20 years ago. I've been doing this for a long time. And 20 years ago, they would come up with these depressing topics, but they were really passionate about them. Death. But now it's like I ask you to think of something and you can't think of anything. It's like there are no numbers in your life. And it's not that there's nothing for you to be interested in. There's just so much. You go on TikTok, you go on Facebook. Oh, by the way, Facebook is just an evil time suck. I go on Facebook looking for something, whatever it is. Maybe I have a hobby in gardening. And all of a sudden it's like, here's a kitty cat going, boo. And I watch that for 2 seconds and it gives me 100 kitty cats. And then it starts giving me pandas and walruses. And then before I know it, I'm watching stuff that I had no interest in at all. But that's what they do. They seduce you into these little topics and just go wandering around. And then you forget what it is you're interested in. And AI can really do that to you. Could take whitewash anything that passion that you're going to get from somebody else, wash it out and give you something that you're not interested in. So what are you interested in?
I asked because I had an idea, but I don't
What
know
is it?
how to translate it into.
What's your idea?
So I wanted to do something that has to like do with robotics. So I was thinking about the optimization and like how like
Oh, no, you're not going to do optimization. That's a subset of what you're going to do. You're going to track robotics over you're going to track 9 pieces of data. You could do lots of things in robotics. I had one of my friend's kids did robotics. You can do how many people are interested in it over the years. You could do how much money is in it versus how many people are interested in it. And that doesn't have to be over the years, but you can get data over the years and compare them. You can look at the number of programs that are being offered just by schools over the years. You can look at if you can find complexity versus how much I don't know, how quickly it can beat up on another robot that, they fight robots too. But what part of robotics do you like?
it's pretty broad. I mean, I personally
I want a robot to do gardening for me. They have this, you know how they have those Zumba things that clean the floor, or Roombas or whatever it is. Zumba's a dance, Roomba is a thing. They have one that goes around your yard weeding your vegetable garden. It knows not to, just goes around. You mark your plants so it knows where your plants are, and then it cuts out all the weeds. That's really cool. Or mows your lawn. My lawn is like 3 acres though, so I don't think I can get one. It will be running all the time.
BJ's.
Sometimes why?
They have the little AI thing that gets like their inventory and like. It's like
I love that AI robot.
that thing. It's like
I end up saying the song. What's the song? I haven't been in a long time. It goes beep beep or something. I walk on the store making that sound. Beep beep beep. So it's infectious, but yeah, I thought it was going to help me with something. First time I saw it, I was like, "Where's the broccoli?" And it just didn't. Yeah, I love that robot. That's a cool thing. So, I love the idea of robots, but you have to look for data, and that's the hard part, finding out. And you can find out, gosh, because it's kind of like people. Only robots are way more different than people. If you take a population of New Jersey, might be great, but that robot at BJ's is not nearly as interesting as the robots that I've seen on TikTok, where they're doing they're actually working on assembly line, putting things together 10 times faster than a person, and they balance on their 2 legs, and which I just think is so cool, that how they stay balanced, but they learn how to balance, and they do.
walking into last week and there was like this robot dog who from far away I really thought it was a dog. But it was just scary. It ran so fast.
See, so there's another robot, but just a pet robot. So you know what you might want to do? How about I think you can get a proliferation of robots in our society, like how many robots they are, or how many different areas you can find them. And you could do that over years. I think the easiest thing is to stick with time and something that's happening with the robots. And then just predict how it's going to be. But if you were working in robotics, I don't know how they do it, but it would be very cool to figure out how long it will take to have a robot that does something that you're looking for. Like they're really they're really adding, like, they have faces now and they have, like, when are we gonna get you ever watch the Jetsons? Rosie on the Jetsons, no, she's a robot housekeeper. Like, when are we gonna get the robot? Yes, when are we gonna get the robot housekeeper? I really need that. I need the gardener, I need the housekeeper. But anyway, how do they know when that's gonna happen? Now, that's another thing, I don't know. Because people work in that industry have to ask for money and they have to say, we're 5 years away from this robot. So maybe just stick with something simple like the amount of money this, when you work in the field and you have numbers to look at, that's when you'll remember this course and say, oh. What? You make the robots, but you're gonna ask for money to make it. This is your life. This is why I want to retire, because I don't want it to be my life. You ask for money for everything. You want a grant, you have to ask for it, and then you have to tell them how long it's going to take. And if you don't finish it in the time of the grant, you have to give the money back. So you don't want that to happen. So you have to do something to convince them that you'll finish it in 5 years, and then they'll give you money for 5 years. But if it's going to take you 10 years, you don't want to be like, oops, I miscalculated. So if let's say some people have done memory, like computer memory. I've seen that as a topic, that the memory gets bigger, like you get more and more memory in the same space. So a robot would really use memory. So if you're thinking about getting AI or functionality, AI uses a lot of electricity, I'm told.
It uses a lot of water.
How does it use a lot of water?
Because in AI, they were trying to do like the
Coolant?
Yeah, the coolant. So it uses a lot of water, like any ChatGPT, like if you put anything in ChatGPT, its system will use up the coolant, and it's a lot of water that we use.
Well, water is recyclable. So what happens to the water? It's not destroyed in a nuclear reaction. It's turned to steam.
But I don't know, yeah, essentially, but I don't think that, I was reading an article about it the other day that, AI uses a lot of water, and because it was, also talking about like global warming and things like that, but like the uprise of AI and stuff like that, it's like contributing.
Do you know what's great about the environment? So I didn't realize this, is that if you go down in the ground, it's 60 degrees. And if you need to cool your water to 60 degrees, all you have to do is send a pipe down. It's called geothermal, whatever. You send your pipe from your house down into the ground, and then you send it through your house, like if you have any sort of baseboard heating, you already have that plumbing. And so they just cycle this water around through the ground. And so what happens is in the summer, 60 degrees is cool. So your baseboard heat can actually cool your house. And in the winter, 60 degrees is not freezing. So my house. Yeah. But if you want it to be 80 degrees, you just attach the furnace. You already have a furnace, probably. You attach the furnace to it. And the water comes out of the ground at 60 degrees. You heat it up. It goes throughout the house. It cools off, and then it goes back into the ground. And it's just constantly being fed to the furnace at 60 degrees. So it's geothermal is a good way to cool off AI, but I don't know. There's some reason why people don't like it. I think if the pipe breaks, it's really prohibitive to fix it. You know, like if you have pipes under the ground, and then you have to go under the ground. Like in Europe, all the power lines are below ground because Europeans care about how beautiful things are. As opposed to Americans that just slap up power lines all across and then we have a thunderstorm or whatever, and it's a firework. You know, the transformers explode and you lose your power. And I don't know, but all right. So you guys at home, anybody at home, you guys have any problems with this? So I'm sorry I can't give you. And that 9 data thing. The reason why it's 9 data points and not 4 or 5, it's because you can't get all the. I need a couple of things why it's 9. I think the old calculator only took 9 data points to start, so that's why I started with that. But it also, you want as many points as possible to get a feel for what real data looks like. real data does not look like, I just had it on the screen. Where was it? Real data does not look like that. This is 5 data points. Okay, that's it. Real data goes jaggedy, 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 jaggedy. If you've ever seen a stock market graph, let me see graph of stock market. Anything, let me just see images. You'll see that they go, see that's real data. Jaggedy, 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 jaggedy. Okay. And my thing is just a way oversimplification of this, but you could maybe see in that, in this jaggedy here, you might see a curve happening, like a little bolt, like a little parabola. So you might be able to oversimplify it, but you could also make it something more complicated, like with Desmos, we don't have to do quartic regressions. With the calculator, you couldn't do more than quarters. You could make this a polynomial, like a 9th degree polynomial, where you could see it goes up, it goes down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. How many times does it go up and down? 8. So you can make a polynomial degree 8 just for this graph right here. And it should fit it okay. Should do a really nice job of it. But that's why you're taking these math classes, but because for you, it's real. For me, this was not real. This was my world, was that, this is my world, but your world is this. And if you want to make predictions about the future, you need more data points than just 5. But if you put I could change this project. The reason why I only gave 9 is because I used to manually enter in people's, because they did the work in the calculator and then I would have to manually enter it in. You're not going to do that. You're saving your worksheet on Desmos. So I don't have to enter in your data, but I will use your worksheet to figure out if what you're doing is right. Okay. So you're going to be able to comment on, so you're going to post your worksheet. And then 2 people in the class are going to look at your worksheet and you're going to look at 2 other people's worksheets. Okay. And then once you've been reviewed, then you can create your video where you say the neat things that you're going to say. And I'm going to watch them and grade them. But that's for me, the most important part, I think right now, because of my point in my life, I will look over those worksheets. I used to grade them meticulously. Now I just grade them casually, which with my good eye, I'm still helping over time. So good eye. Don't think I won't catch those mistakes. So do the best job to make sure it looks good. But I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly virtually never check your numbers. That's not what I'm checking for. Okay. So, but when you say something, I want to hear it needs to sound smart. I want to hear some smartness going on. I want to hear you're using calculus in some smart way. I want to be that grant person who says, wow, I'm going to give you that money for your 5 years of robotic program. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. I know. I think I've gone full circle. I really like math to get definite answers, but in the end, I like the whole liberal arts of it all. The whole make it sound smart, say something, verbal exams. Okay. All right. Any questions on this? Questions. So Devon's the only one who did a proposal. Let's see what he said. Okay, so are you comparing the number of iPhones to the number of births, Devon? It's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so years must be his x-axis and number of iPhones. It's not that it's not going to work. Is he that interested in iPhones? Do you think he's interested in iPhones? Or is he just trying to get me off this case? Is he going to have a baby? Is he going to have a baby? And does he love iPhones? This is why it wouldn't work for me. So I want something like robotics that I know somebody's interested in. Or Melanie, what are you doing? Didn't post it. What are you interested in? But that's what I'm telling you. I really relate to the fact that you might not know what you're interested in. Is it that you don't know what you're interested in or you don't know how to get numbers out of it? Because her problem was she didn't know how to get numbers out of it. She knows what she's interested in. So I applaud you. Take calculus. Keep going with your math. It won't help you. Yes, but Melanie, your biology. Do you have no, why are you biology? Why is that your major? Animals, there's so many numbers on animals. Adoptions, farm animals. What type of animals do you like? Farm animals, domestic animals, like cats and dogs. Small animals. I just read something about small animals the other day. Oh, it's horrible. You don't want to do this one. It was how the Koreans, Koreans are going to Ukraine to help the Russians fight for. Anyway, they're feeding them dog in a can. And there's a type of dog that Koreans consider an edible dog. Like it's a big, they showed a picture of it, it's like a big white dog. And they grow it like cows for eating. I know, I'm appalled. If you're not aware, that we have meat in cans all the time, but it's canned dog meat that they're using, feeding the Korean. So the Russians are feeding the Koreans canned dog meat, but that type of dog meat. But Russia being the way it is, it's very possible that it's not even dog meat. It might just be something else. I don't even know, so I don't trust Russia. Don't buy Russian meat. No, that's really gross. All right, anyone at home, Jacob, do you know what you're interested in? Do you guys know what you're interested in? That's, to me, you'll find Melanie, you'll find something with animals pretty easy. And you want domestic animals? No problem. Sarah, what's your topic gonna be? Roller coaster deaths? So I'm sure you can find that, although amusement parks really try to hide that information. So good luck with that. Is Six Flags a death trap?
That's supposed
King to Cobb because people die?
not people die, but it's too
Costly?
it's like, yeah, too heavy to go for that. They're taking it.
Oh, I never went on it. Darn.
Supposedly they're building a taller one because that is. King of Clyde used to be the world's smallest, fastest roller
And it
coaster,
isn't anymore.
but someone made it like an inch taller in like Dubai. So then I think they're gonna go like the 2 inches taller.
So they're gonna take the top off and add some more. I don't know. Jake, I'm talking to you. Jake used to sit there.
Sorry, hello.
Jake, do you know what you're interested in that you're gonna do your topic about?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something like frame rate for video games over the years.
Frame rate?
Yeah, frame rate.
Is that like how quickly it's refreshed or something?
Yeah, it's how smooth the game works or looks. The higher your frame rate, the smoother it will feel to play.
I was watching TV the other day, and I have one of these smart TVs, whatever it is. And what I was watching, I subscribed to, I don't know, whatever, Disney Plus, and I was watching Encanto, my favorite movie of all time. Sorry, I do really like it. But apparently Disney Plus, when you get their cheaper knockdown version, like if you buy Disney, you get something, but you can get a cheaper version, and I got the cheaper version with the commercials and everything. And they don't broadcast it at the same refresh rate. So it looks like I'm watching it on an older, crappier TV. I was not happy. I own it though. I can watch it on it. That's a good job. That's a good one, Jacob. What?
But I used to watch that, it's just to not watch it.
I know. That commercials really piss me off. And when I sit down and the commercial comes on, I'm like, oh crap, I usually plan to get up and do something. I have nothing to get up and do, so I have to sit through the stupid commercial. I hear you. Mahir, what are you doing? What's your topic? I'm gonna get to all of you because there's 8 of us. There's 9 in the class. Somebody's
Uh,
missing.
I'm
You're
not
on.
so sure yet. I was thinking like,
What do you like? If you just tell me what you like, I'll believe or not believe you'll find data.
I'd say I might do like as the year goes by, the number of CDs being sold in the media, well, not media, well, just,
Do you like CDs?
well, like music and stuff like that, you know?
Okay. CDs is a specific form of music. Downloads are what people talk about now, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they care about CDs. All right, music I like. You'll get lots of data on music. I
Oh.
Didn't we sit down and look at that the other day? That's good. I like it. Anusha. What do you like? I don't expect any of you to say you love math, even though you should. It's just a language, so it's communicating. The language is to communicate stuff that you like.
Thanks.
Statistics of what?
I'm honestly, I like the course.
No, you just like you should do well in it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
different.
nothing
It is nothing like calculus, but it's way more statistics is very useful.
That's why it's like this is not.
You're just taking this for fun. Good. Calculus is a lot of statistics after a while becomes calculus. But why are you doing? For what? Really? And you're taking that, how many years do you have?
That's an average. Not last year, and this is not.
Oh, okay, so that's, because this is only half year. Sometimes I've had high schools tell me that they wanted to require they wanted to know if my course was good for a whole year. And sometimes I say no. Because high school, they spend a lot of time doing, you meet a lot every day for an hour a day is a lot of time. Oh, now that I'm retired.
The physics teacher is teaching math right now. It's for students. Think about the students.
I do. You know, okay, so what's my interest? What's my passion? It's actually not math so much as it is teaching. I like trying different types of teaching pedagogies and I like technology. But I would think I need to teach teachers because the thing about that conference that was really evident to me is that I was way ahead of them. Like, you guys say that I'm weird and different, and you haven't had this before, but I thought these people were like the leading edge of their field, and then they were like, this one group was giving a presentation on how exciting it was to make videos for their class. It's like you're making that's your passion is to make videos for your class. That was like 10 years ago. And they use discussions and they're like, we make lively discussions. I'm like, well, that was 15 years ago. So like, what are you doing with the technology that's there now?
We just got these huge iPads, like they're like dissection people, but iPads. I have those in high school. And like then we get like these real people. I mean, who like go into their body science and we get to like play with them.
That is so cool. And that's the other thing. You're in high school with some money. They actually in high school, if you're in a family and you decide to buy technology, you can get stuff better than the school can get it. Like this computer is pretty nice. They just put this computer in like a year ago. And they probably think that they're going to get 5 to 10 years out of this computer, but you guys at your desk may already have nicer computers than we have. Certainly your computer's nicer than the one they gave me. I have no touch screen. I need a touch screen. They wouldn't even hear of it. Like, no touch screen for you. You'll get this laptop. And at least it's faster. Last time they gave me a laptop, it was slower than the one before. Never slow down technology. Never. Naina, what do you want to do your topic on?
I'll probably talk about the job market. I don't know, it's an idea.
I gotta tell you, Naina, I like the subject. There's lots of data on it. I believe you're interested in it. I'm sorry you're not passionate about something other than the job market, but that's what people are. That's where people are. Like that was the other thing I learned about that AI thing was that I wish they changed the way they grade people. I don't like this ABC thing. You know what I don't like about the ABC thing? Everybody wants A's. Parents want all their kids to have A's. And really, in my opinion, most grades should be C's. And they shouldn't mean like 2.0. They should mean you completed this subject. Yay. B means you should really major in something like this subject. And then A means you should major in this subject. And as a teacher, none of you should be getting A's in my class unless you want to be math majors. But it shouldn't be, you're like thinking automatically, oh no, this is bad. When you look at your transcript, that should tell you something like, look, I got A's in sociology. And I took 12 classes of sociology and I got all A's in that. That was every one of those teachers saying, you need to major in sociology. I had a friend in college who was a geology major and got D's in just about every geology course they took. And I was like, don't you understand? They're telling you this is not for you. And you know what he did? He became a computer programmer. He took one computer programming class, got an A in it. And that's what he did. It's like to see that they were telling you something, they were telling you about yourself, your own passion. With AI giving you everything you want, the question is, what do you want? And I think they should open up. We shouldn't have this strict system. You should be taking classes that are shorter and lighter. And like you want sociology, try it. You try sociology for 5 weeks or whatever, you get 1 credit or whatever for trying 5 weeks. You get a C, it means it's not for you. You take it again, that's telling you something. You get an A or B in it, that's telling you something. And that's the way I think it should be. Because you can have anything you want. Like you're just actually schools have become restrictive. It used to be that spending on like this was everything. You went back in the olden day when all there were books and you had to go to your course, you had to walk to, like Rutgers used to be at a bar. When Rutgers started, it was a tavern. And that's where people met. They met at a tavern and they talked about stuff. And so they didn't get together that often. So the idea of having semesters and times where you could meet with people, that was a real innovation 250 years ago. But now it's just a restriction that you have to sit here for 10 weeks, or whatever, 14 weeks in my calculus class, when you probably knew after 4 weeks whether you liked it or not. I know you all loved it and you keep coming. But you know, but your idea is, do you like this enough to be in a major or something like this? So the B's, I see mostly as B students. Not that I'm saying B student, again, not B as a punishment, B as you should major in something like this. So you want to be robotics? I think that you're doing just great. I think you're right on task. If you wanted to be math major, I wouldn't, maybe some of you will get A's from me. And that would be my way of saying you should be majoring in math. But I just don't like our whole grading system. I don't like the way the schools are run. Like this whole, it just seems like a punishment and it's not really, it's your passion. And AI, go ahead, use AI. But you know what? I don't use AI for my gardening. I used to tell people for gardening, but I'm not going to have an AI garden. I don't say AI, generate me a picture of a garden that I just love, because that would be fake and I wouldn't love it. I want my own garden. I want to do it myself. Okay. So that's what AI can use. AI can be used to help you get rid of all the stuff you don't want to like. You know, you don't want to like it, you don't have to do it. If you want to like it and do it. So Nana, you must be a hard worker. Maybe you want jobs. So that's fine. I accept that topic and you find plenty of data for that. Just the government data. Suhabi, what are you going to do?
I said that I was gonna do, the growth of electric vehicles, like sales over the past decade.
Do you have an electric vehicle?
Yeah, I do.
Which one?
We have a Tesla.
Oh, hate that. It's okay.
I saw an orange Cybertruck today.
Oh, it's not ugly refrigerator on its side. I call them the ugly refrigerator on their side. They look like a refrigerator.
Oh, refrigerator? I
Yeah.
think they're ugly too.
Yeah, I don't care for them, but orange would be my color. I'll have to see if I like it. I have a plug-in hybrid because I couldn't decide, but I really do love the plug-in feature. Because I coast into my driveway with like no gas. And then I have to worry about gas, but with the plug-in, just plug it in and make it to a gas station.
My dad is a hybrid, but not. So like if and he doesn't like filling up his gas until it's completely empty. But say we're on our way to the gas station, he has like 3 final stuff to go, right?
Actually,
And he's like, well, if we stop moving, we're just gonna have to do that for miles per hour.
oh, because the battery will work.
Yeah.
If you're below a certain speed, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 15 below.
Oh, God, that's me. This is, but I do try to keep gas in my car, but I plug mine in when I get it. So when I get home, I've literally had it where it had like nothing in the charger and nothing in the gas, and I could barely, they had 3 miles to get home. When I got home, I was like, plugging it in. Now I can go to a cheap gas station tomorrow and not an expensive one. I don't even have to go to the gas station tomorrow. What the hell? I live local. I don't have to do anything like that. But anyway, Anusha, I'd like to wait, that was Suhave, right? Suhave, you're doing electric cars? I do. I don't mean to think I hate Tesla. I don't mind Tesla.
It's okay. I don't like them either.
That's, there you go. I don't want to say that because this is live streamed. But I didn't say that. You said it. Anyway, I don't care for those refrigerators on the side. That I feel like they've assaulted that, like the French people. I love them. They're really into how things look. I feel like they've assaulted our roads with these ugly things. Like every other car place tries to at least make them, like you can make them aerodynamic, you do whatever you want. But they generally fall into a category of not hideous. That is like, we couldn't care less what you think. We're going to put this ugly thing on the road. And we love it. And we love it. And I don't care for it. But anyway, my car is a plug-in hybrid and I like it. I had my students a few years ago tried to guess what my car was. And they couldn't. They were looking all over for it. They couldn't find my car. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but they saw my Honda. And when I projected my phone on the thing, I had a Honda app. And they're like, you have a Honda and it's a plug-in hybrid? I was like, yep. They could figure it out. They couldn't find it. They went looking on the internet. They named all the cars that Honda makes. They still didn't find it. Anyway, I like that idea. I do like electric cars. I hope they keep making them. It was, I think there's a place for them. All right, Anusha, you're the last one. What are you doing? Anusha, she walked away. Get angry. All right, so that's enough of that. So do you guys have an idea of how you're going to do this topic? Oh, look, people posted stuff while they were. I love that you guys do these things. So anyway, post them here, but mostly if they sound okay, you get your data. You're going to have one more step to go through is to have people. I'll post something for you to put your thing on for the reviews. So you're going to put your worksheet there. And then when you're done, you're going to attach your video. So it'll all be in one spot and you put the video up. And I will, as I said, I'll watch the video first. And then I'll go back looking at your worksheet to see if I like it or not. But I really want to hear stuff. I want you to present it. I want you to sound smart on topics that are interesting to you. But honestly, don't use, if you find yourself using AI for something, you probably hate doing it. And so then stop doing it. Or do something, I mean, let AI help you with things you don't want to do. But I like, there was a minimalist guy, and he said, you should clean all your own stuff. You guys clean your own stuff?
My room.
Your possessions, your car. Do you wash your own car? Yeah, so you know, if you hire other people to do it, you lose the opportunity to enjoy your stuff. Like that's that time when you enjoy your stuff is when you're cleaning it. clean your own stuff. Do your own, if you write your own papers, do your own math. If you're getting AI to do it, then you're losing out on the opportunity to know that you hate something. And while having money and jobs are important, they're not everything. Okay, so let's talk about, so next Tuesday, I may or may not be in. But we need to start, now we need to review.
It's not great.
We can, and we probably will. But let's talk about what's left to do. I still think you're kind of weak on your integration. I haven't seen a lot of strong integration. So get practicing on that. I definitely, even if the minimum is to understand it enough to do the presentation stuff, average value, using the summation things, finding the exact value, fundamental theorem of calculus. I think you guys need a little more practice on some of those things. I'm not sure. But this quiz 10, oh, I also said I'm closing the quizzes. So after today, they're all closed. I'm going to take the grades down and then I'm going to open all the quizzes. So you can get more practice on the quizzes, but I'm going to open them up and close. And so your grade won't get any worse or better, but the quizzes will be open. Okay, but that will start tomorrow, I think, or this weekend. Is there anything else you want from me before? Because then we need to review for the final. So in mod 11, oh, mod 11 isn't even open yet. Make available. So what's in mod 11? Nothing, no new material. The questions are the same questions. There's no class questions 10 to 13. It says no new questions since mod 10. The homework, correct your midterm exam. So there's an integral test, a practice integral test that I might put up here. But I have to scrub it first because there's no practice final, but there is an integrals test. But I have to scrub it because it asks for questions. It makes me grade them, and I'm not going to grade them. And so I'm going to turn off that thing. So they're just going to be, you're going to answer them, and and when you're done, you can look up the answers. But I don't want to have to grade them because then they sit ungraded until I grade them. Okay. All right, and what's our schedule look like after we come back from break, which will be December 3rd? You know your final is like a week and a half later. So definitely we'll push the review then. We'll do midterm review and integral review, and I'll put that integral test up for you. Okay, otherwise I don't have anything else to say, because you're just going to forget it all between now and Thanksgiving's going to make you all fat. And oh, go ahead, ask.
No, it's completely unrelated.
This is
About calculus.
why I hate Thanksgiving. Oh, no, it's not unrelated. Calc 2. If you're not taking Calc 2, you can go. Melanie, are you taking Calc 2 or not? No, then you can go. But if you're interested in Calc 2, I'll talk about it.
So since the class is very like hybridized, like we do like excusing things like that.
No. Calc 2, I've had students of mine complain that the Calc 2 class is about as old school as it comes. Chalkboard and yes.
Sorry about this, Professor. Are we having a integrals test?
Just a scrubbed one. It's just for you. I have an integrals test that I used to grade, but I'm grading the project instead. So you don't have an integrals test. You just have it's just a review for the final. That's all.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
Not
Is it
graded.
open right now?
No, I'll put it up. I'll be putting it up so that we can go over it when we're done, when the break is done. It's in
Okay.
mod 11. It will be there in mod 11.
Okay, okay.
Okay, anyone else at home? You guys can go, except if you want to hear about Calc 2, hang around. Because I have stuff to say about Calc 2.
Oh, have a great weekend.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Anusha, Jacob, Nana, any of you taking Calc 2? Anusha, you taking Calc 2? All right, well, I'm gonna talk to you.
Because I had to take Calc 2 and I am, I don't know, I'm kind of like, I feel like it's gonna be like whiplash because I really enjoyed Calc 1, like I like the teaching style and everything, but I'm under the impression that Calc 2 is going to be,
More traditional,
yes.
more do a bunch of problems. Okay, so here's, that's true. It is going to be that way. My students tend to do better in statistics classes, but they do okay in Calc 2. But there is no Desmos. You can use Desmos for something. I mean, Desmos is definitely useful in Calc 2. But the teacher, this was this way, the 40-year-old coordinator of that course is about 80 years old in his practice. It's like, so he likes everything and he does teach a lot of the Calc 2 sessions. There's another guy, Professor Rose is also pretty good. Hold on. Let me just say this.